Hey, hello! I thought I would do a quick crafts video about how to turn one of these greeting cards into one of these little spiffy ornaments. This is actually a old Victorian craft that, well, would have been done in Victorian times 100 years ago. People had, greeting cards. They were nice. They didn't want to just throw them out. Don't waste anything, right? So they would make these cute little ornaments, these kind of geodesic dome sort of things out of this card. So I have a card that is actually not even a card. It's an ad for a card, so I don't feel bad just cutting this up. So you need greeting cards, ideally with either foil or glitter on them that you don't mind not, well, destroying. I mean, you're going to turn it into something else, upcycling perhaps. And then you're going to need a punch, a large circle punch. I like 1 3/8 size circle punch, some glue, scissors just in case, and then something for the ribbon on top, which I like. I have a bunch of vintage ribbons here that are quite, they're at least from the 80s, if not older, probably actually older, that I just think are neat, and I got them from like an estate sale, and I use these on these ornaments just to add a neat little vintage touch. Let's get started. You're going to need 20 circles for one of these balls. I've also made them out of tea boxes. It's a little harder to do with tea boxes just because the paper is thicker. But it can be done, and it's kind of a fun thing if you're not into sparkly, essentially Christmas tree ornaments, or Yule tree ornaments. If you don't want to make a holiday specific ornament, tea balls are fun too. So what I like to do so that you can see what part of the image you're getting is turn the circle punch upside down so that you can then see exactly what portion of this you are punching a hole in. Let's say I just want an abstract gold that, I don't necessarily want to put part of a word. I can line it up exactly so it's just like, oh, there's a little bit of nice gold there. So, just do that. Or if you want to do very specific little images, like that out of, some of the cards that I've found over the years, very specific little pictures that you want to grab, then you can do that with this method also, being able to see exactly what you're getting by turning the punch over. You end up with many, 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 many circles. These are all T's. These are all just whatever. I've got them arranged by theme. I've got, here is cats. Here's animals and birds. What is this? This is a set that I pulled out because it's all just like pinks and purples. So, maybe I'll just use that one. Yeah, maybe I'll just go with the pinks and purples. Why not? You need 5 for the top, 5 for the bottom, and 10 for the middle. And here's 5 on the top. See how they get folded? You're going to be taking these circles and folding them. And then here's the bottom. And then here's the middle, which is basically kind of a donut of alternating down triangles and up triangles, right? So up, down, up, down. And sometimes they're just abstract. It doesn't matter which direction they go. Sometimes it does matter which direction I go. Like here's a tree. You don't want a tree to be sideways, so that's going to be an up triangle, so that it shows off the design on there the most possible. So that's going to be the 3 pieces that you need to assemble into the final ball. But first, let's count out 20 of these pink and purple ones. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. See, in this one I punched out wishes because that's just kind of cute. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's see here. That's a pretty one. 2, 4, I don't want to use too many of the same card on the same ornament. I like to mix it up a little bit. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and this is actually sprinkles on a cupcake. Why not? And let's see, 10. Okay, so there's my 20, and I have some extra. That's nice. Ooh, actually, wait, you know what? I like this one so well. I'm going to swap out one of these sprinkle ones. This one. Good, because I really like that one. That's pretty. It's got a little glitter on it. So I want to showcase this. So I've got pinks and purples going on here. So I've done this so many times that I don't need the triangle guide to be able to fold these into the triangles that you're going to want. So I just eyeball it. Because again, I've done this so many times. I've made dozens of these things, and they actually sell well at holiday shops and things like that, that I'm just going to eyeball it. So basically I use my thumbnails as a guide, and then, you know, use these other, you know, fingers to my middle fingers to guide how the fold's going to go. And I completely just eyeball it into thirds. Doot. And doot. And if it's a little bit off, it's okay. I mean, just get, you know, try to get as close as you can to exact thirds. But if you're off a little bit, it's not the end of the world. So, and I'm going to be folding for a minute. It's just fun to punch out the designs. It gets a little bit addictive. Like, you get really excited when you get a holiday card that's got lots of glitter or foil. You're like, oh good, I can punch holes in this later. It's like, maybe that sounds a little gruesome, but sorry to all those people who have sent me cards over the years, but you know what? They've gone back into some nice things. So be happy that they didn't just get thrown in the trash. Oh no, no. I've reused them. So, and here they are. So let's see, I swapped out one while I was talking because that's kind of the same one. That's, I want to use the same one. But then see, now I got to think, well, when I fold it, is it going to look better this way or this way? And I think pointing up is going to look better. So I'm going to carefully angle this. It's hard to show on the camera. I know my hand's getting in the way. Angle it so that you can see on the finished fold that the candle flame is pointing up. So that's going to be an upward pointing one that you're going to need 5 of for the top, because they're all going to be pointing up or abstract. If it doesn't matter which direction they go, then you don't need to worry about it. But if you have a lot of them and have images that, you know, you don't want to be like sideways, then you do need to pay some attention to whether they're, you know, pointing up or pointing down. I'll do a few more of these and then get on to gluing the parts together that are going to make up the 3 parts to the ball. Because if you're not at least somewhat organized about this, it actually can yeah, you can end up gluing the wrong things to the wrong things, and it's just, it ends up being kind of a mess. So you have to be somewhat organized with how you assemble this and how you glue these things together. So okay, well, you've seen me folding things enough that, you know, you don't need to watch me fold everything in the world. So, here's a bottom. See how the design, that's pointing down. That's pointing down. These are all pointing down, so that's a bottom. This top, I've already put the ribbon through. Basically, all I do to do the ribbon, let's pretend this is the top, right? It's not, but, you know, is to just take the scissors, open up just a little bit of a hole, and then push the ribbon through, and then, you know, pull it, and there you go. You've got a top. And then the middle, again, is this donut circle ring that you're going to glue the top and the bottom to make the complete ornament. But let's find 5 of these guys. Let's see, that's up. These are all abstract, so it kind of doesn't really matter which way. That's a down, though. So I'm going to set that aside. And let's see. That is a good collection of this one. See, I kind of cheated on this one because this actually has 3-dimensional little gems on it. So I didn't fold it quite one way or the other so that I could get this gem up in there, or else you can't fold it on a gem, right? So it's like, I guess that's an up. We'll call that an up. So then I've got my 5 ups, all right? So when you've got all these folded, you're gonna, organize them into, these are ups, here's a down, the rest don't matter, right? So you're staying organized. So I've got my 5 ups, and you're just gonna start gluing on the touching edge, and don't use too much glue or it will never dry. Well, I mean, eventually, but basically just hold these little flaps together until they stay together. Just hold on to that, and while you're waiting for that to bond, you can do others in the chain here. Here's a couple more. Again, not too much glue, just enough that when you press it together very hard, you might get a little coming out here, but that's okay. All right, and you can quickly see, oh, look, it's suddenly 3-dimensional. So it's a simple idea, but executing it is a little less simple than it seems, than you might think. There is a trick to it to make it look good. You can do it, and you can do it well. So I like to do things well. So these are my tips and tricks to how to do them well. And then, of course, if I glue these two together, look, I've got a top. Boom. So you get the idea there. So on this one, again, you just lay out the pieces, up, down, and then glue accordingly. So I would glue this to this, and then this to this, and then this to this to make a long snake of 10, and then form it around into a ring to make the middle. Then, now I'm going to want to glue the 3 sections together, the top, the middle, and the bottom. So I'm just going to set these pink ones aside for the time being. I'll finish that ornament later, but I want to show gluing these 3 pieces together. What I like to do is find some variety here, so I'm not gluing white to white or black to black. So let's see here. So then you just, as you might imagine, continue gluing, and you just do the same thing, right? You just press it, hold it together until it wants to hold together on its own, and wash, rinse, repeat until you have a sphere. Sometimes you can end up with little gaps. What you can do as you're gluing your way around is to kind of force it to be where you want it to be and hold it really tightly. Like, see how this doesn't quite line up here? When you're gluing that, when this glue here is set, you can kind of use this area as like a little hinge almost to kind of force it over into lining up correctly, so these edges line up perfectly, and then glue and hold, on the same thing. Sometimes you'll end up with little gaps. You can actually go inside with the glue, put a little bit in the hole right in there, and just kind of squish the whole thing together until that glue you've put on the inside will help hold and eliminate those little gaps, those little holes there. So the finished thing should have very tight little unions there, right? There's not a bunch of holes and gaps and all the circles line up on this finished ornament. Burb. So there you have it. That's how to make one of these ornaments that, again, they sell really great at little gift shops and gift fair bazaars, holiday bazaars, whatever they're called in your region. Online, Etsy. I've sold a lot of these on Etsy, and I just don't have the time anymore. So if you would like to corner the market on these on Etsy, please feel free, because I have like a box of these things, and I just, I don't have the time or energy to mail them out, but they make lovely gifts. They have 1,001 uses, mostly gifts. People always like them. They're like, oh, I remember those, or they're like, that's cool. I've never seen that before. And it's always fun to see the reaction. I like to do either themed, or color seems to look better, like all green and gold, or you know, all pink and purple. Those seem to really, you know, be attractive on a tree. But again, you know, themed is also fun, like tea boxes or cats or little kids or something like that. You know, so anyway, have fun with that. I hope you get it figured out. It took me a few tries to really kind of perfect my technique here, but I hope that this helps give you a head start on how to create a Victorian paper ornament out of greeting cards. Thanks, and I'll see you again next time.